Welcome back to the Plus Side in Nashville. We've been talking about building better tables with Tre Harding with the Metro Arts Commission, and now Thaxton Waters, artist, joins us to talk about his art installation. And welcome to you.
Hello.
Hello.
Good.
Both of you from Nashville, so this must be pretty special. Knowing that you're helping a city that we have just seen change so drastically over the last few years. Thaxton, why did you want to participate in this project?
Well, being that I'm born and raised here, and we just, like you mentioned, the drastic changes happen so fast, I wanted to add like a artistic, historical context to the project, because I do a lot of work in North Nashville about history and how that neighborhood became to be. And the rise and the decline of it is when I was born, around the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
And now the reinvestment.
Yes.
So I wanted to add like a historical context to that by having 4 meals, do some paintings, and have some discussions kind of around that.
So that's what your art project looks like.
My part is called A Seat at the Welcome Table.
A seat at the, and where can we see that?
It's at 2506 McGimpsey Center, 2506 Jefferson Street at the McGimpsey Center. It functions as a dance studio, and a guy in there, he teaches wrestling classes, he teaches everything, so I kind of stage out the whole house. And
is that what we're seeing right now?
That's what you're seeing right now.
Oh,
so I staged the whole house, and as you can see, the wood floors, that's where they have the dance studio and the classes at. So I staged out, like the first installation was centered around like the 1800s up until the 1940s. So you had antiques in there, paintings in there from that time period. Then the second meal was from the 1940s about to 1965, 67. So we had antiques and things in there from that time period. So we just, from the past Jefferson Street Art Crawl, which is every 4th Saturday, we just had one based upon the latchkey diets of the Generation X.
Now, when you say the latchkey diets,
yes,
us kids coming home and fixing our own snacks.
There you
is
go.
That what we're talking?
There you go. There you go.
Is that bread? What is that?
Yes, that's pound cake.
Pound cake.
So that was from the first installation.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like a fascinating project. Just so many different aspects of looking at this, because for people who may be watching and maybe don't understand what we're talking about, but everywhere you look in North Nashville now are tall, skinny houses, condominiums, many that are not affordable to the people who once lived there.
Right.
And so that's what we're hoping, Tre, that this project will allow people to see.
Absolutely, yes.
And the fact that there are no real affordable restaurants or grocery stores in these areas. They're more of like food deserts.
And part of the project, I had like a little small garden attached to it. So in the part of putting that little small garden, I saw so many people walking up and down the streets getting their groceries at Family Dollar, the corner store where the discount tobacco was at. So it's not any reachable fresh food for them to have access to. So as I was doing the project, I'm seeing it play out.
Yes, you are. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
So this project is here for how long, Tre? How long can we see it?
So it'll run through the month of August.
Okay.
We started in June 1st, and it is running until September 1st. So.
In addition to Thaxton, there's a total of 9. He's one of 9.
Yes.
There are others.
Yes.
Who are name some of the other folks that we met?
So an artist collective called Otobenga Jones and Associates. They're based in Houston, Texas. They'll be unveiling a billboard campaign that will kind of promote healthy eating and talks about hunger, specifically with youth. We've also got seed libraries done by an artist named Tadfu Tan. So they're actually kind of like the give a book and take a book library, but in this instance, they provide seeds. So it's kind of an opportunity to take seeds and take them home and grow them yourself. So those are located at various different community gardens around the city. We've also got an artist named P.2 Jones who he has built a bread oven and has created a table. And actually this weekend there'll be an event called Biscuits and Braids that will happen. But there are tons of events and projects at the Public Health Center at Lentz. An artist from California named Andrea Chung, she actually did a sculpture that talks about mothers and kind of how mothers can help feed their babies, and especially with black women and black mothers, and how their health statistics are significantly worse than those who aren't, and kind of talks about why that happens, and specifically what in Nashville has been done that has helped cause that here in Nashville.
We have definitely seen the black community affected tremendously.
Yes.
When you had decided or was approached about doing this, what was your first thought? And once you were sort of given the parameters of what they wanted you to do, how did you go about thinking about what you were going to create?
Well, I previously done work in North Nashville, just like pretty much my whole life.
So everybody knows you.
Yes,
your
yes.
work,
So I kind of
great.
just work around that. So like when I was approached about this project, it was just about shifting my attention to how was the effect of food on all the history that I already been previously teaching.
Yeah.
So how did the forced migration, how did the displacement, and now how did the gentrification affect our diets that live in these neighborhoods? So through the different locations and different events and different policies and things that legislation that happened, how did that translate to our health, diet, and now the conversation with the hospital over there.
Oh yes, with Metro General.
Yes, with Metro General. So it's just like, so now that we have the one hospital we have for low-income people in limbo, so that added another conversation to it. So we had a couple doctors from that come over and add a little light to the conversations.
So the Nashville growth is spurring on so many issues that need to be addressed.
Yes.
In many, many ways. And through this art project, hopefully it will lead to some good conversation. You're hoping to get the word out even more. You've got a pop-up you wanted to tell me a little bit about.
Yes, so one of the artists is a chef named Tundiwe. He has done a lot of work around kind of cooking and using his food to bring awareness to racial disparities in terms of income and the wealth gap. So in an effort to try and give back to the community and kind of make sure we're nurturing what the community has in North Nashville, he's created a project called Hot Chicken Sheet. And with this project, he's having a pop-up event that will be August 23rd, 24th, and 25th at I'm blanking.
Is it
Westwood, I believe. Westwood Baptist Church.
Westwood Baptist Church.
And he will actually be selling hot chicken, but instead of a typical kind of give back price, we're working with the housing fund. So we're trying to raise money to buy back property in this specific area. There's a specific census block that all the properties would be coming from, but it's a very different approach at this issue, but it definitely turns heads, but it's a very exciting way. But you can learn more on the website.
We can definitely go and talk a little bit more in terms of the housing fund, because they're working to try to help get people into affordable housing.
Correct.
We know that there's a problem here, but the folks at the housing fund are still working to try to get more affordable housing. Rent is crazy.
Yes.
Not only can you not afford to buy a house, you can't even afford to rent an apartment,
right.
As we know with this growth. So the housing fund, in conjunction with you guys, are working pretty closely together.
Yes, well, with this specific project, the goal is that people would donate either property or help purchase property, and then it would be turned over to the housing fund. And the housing fund, with the community land trust, would ensure that those properties only provide affordable housing. So they cannot go into that market rate, and it's meant to kind of just be a placeholder for affordable housing in that specific community.
That's fantastic. Well, we want to talk more. This is an interesting problem, and it's something that I'm hoping that this project will help shine a light on more. And so we'll be back with more to talk with Tre and Thaxton right after this.